Hey y'all, this is Gail. It's gentle yoga for low back care time. It's our Wednesday class that we have here on Veterans Yoga Project. 1 p.m. Central Time, but y'all have to figure out what time zone it is for you. Yes, it's free. Yes, people other than veterans, spouses, community members, family members can attend. So, if you think this class might be appropriate for somebody, let them know. We really appreciate it. They're considered to be our supporters of veterans. Okay, so with our class today, we're going to do breathing, mindful movement, meditation, guided rest and relaxation, and that gratitude practice. Try to get it all in 1 hour. I did start about a minute or two late, but we'll end 60 minutes later. I use the chair to come down to the floor because I have spicy back pain. So that's best for what's going on with my body. But you do you, okay? I'm going to stand up. Vicky's already in the posture. She's laying on her back with the knees bent. So if you want to get there or if you want to be seated in the chair, that works. Let me move this chair out of the way. And then I'm going to come over to my chair. I'm going to squeeze my belly button towards my spine and bend my knees, come down to my chair, stick one leg back, and I'm just going to tip it over because I don't like to be on that one knee very much. I've got my block, my strap close by. The blanket's really handy, or a long towel to use at the very end to cover up with, or to roll it in a way where that can go underneath the bend of your knees. Now, I also use the blanket for sitting on when we're doing seated postures on the floor because it makes my scoliosis, my kind of tilty hips, feel a little bit more even. It's just better for what's going on in my body, and that might help you too. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it into thirds to have that be ready when we're seated on our behind. Let me move this chair out of the way. We're going to do 2 requested poses today. We're going to do bird dog and its variations. In fact, I think I'm just going to show all the variations. And we'll also do big toe hold, which can be seated or lying on your back. It's hard to do standing. It's best to be kind of grounded with that one if you're doing that one. It's a wiggly one if you're doing one leg, standing on one leg, and then fingers into the toes. So let's do constructive rest pose. So that's lying on your back, seated in a chair, feet on the floor. And again, for me, this feels kind of odd in my body. So I do stuff to make it feel better. Grab my wrist, roll my shoulder up and away. And then I got to do the other side. So roll it up and away. So that makes kind of those tight muscles that kind of bunch towards my curvy spine kind of flatten out and go away from the middle of the body. Just do a little bit of wiggling here, a little bit of getting more comfortable. And we'll do that breathing to begin with. So whether you're seated in the chair, whether you're standing or lying on your back, you can either have your arms out to the side, or maybe you can rest them comfortably around your belly button. One below your belly button, one above your belly button. From here, just notice that you're breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like here to breathe in? Is it mainly your chest expanding? Is it mainly your belly and chest, or some combination of that? And as you exhale, notice that the belly kind of contracts towards the floor or towards the back of the chair. If it's, get all the air out. And again, breathe in and exhale. Now we're going to do what's called the extended exhale breath. That's where we breathe in to a count of 4, if that's available to you today. We pause for a moment, and then we exhale to a count of 5. You try to make the exhale a little bit longer, and if you're trying to do this for lessening the blood pressure, lowering the heart rate, sometimes you extend that exhale to a count of 6, to a count of 7. But today we'll just do the 4 to 5 ratio. I'll clap my hands when we're breathing in. I'll clap my hands when we're breathing out. So if you want to keep your hands on your belly to notice, we're going to try to go from the belly, mid-belly, chest for that breathing, or do what's okay for you today, okay? So to begin with, let's breathe in, belly big. Pausing, exhale, belly button towards the spine. Kind of hollow out the belly button. And again, breathe in, belly big. Very good. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. One more time, shall we? Breathe in, belly and chest big. Slowly, slowly. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Beautiful. Whether you're seated on the chair, whether you're lying on your back, let's do notice posture. So we're going to extend a leg way out away from our chair at the edge of our yoga mat and do the same with the other one. And just kind of notice the sensations that are going on with the body. So my hips feel pretty tight. The shoulders, the mid-back feel pretty constricted. The calves, part of my legs are not touching the floor. And again, when I first start out, everything feels very, very kind of tightly held. We're going to try to make that a little bit less, make it feel a little bit more comfortable with our practice today. So squeeze the belly button towards the spine, slide a foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. Let's do knee to chest pose, extend the leg out. This is to get the knee and the hip joint kind of lubricated a little bit, get a little range of motion. So squeeze the belly button, hands underneath the back of the leg, whether your strap is along the bottom of the foot or hands back behind your thigh, and bring the knee in towards your chest. So you're trying to see where it naturally goes into the hip crease, the side waist, or into the low ribs, whatever that range of motion is. And then squeeze the belly button towards the spine, extend that leg out into the air, whether you're seated on the chair or lying on your back. You may need to use a strap to help facilitate this seated in a chair. And just kind of notice the sensations going on here, if it's spicy or not. Then inhale, knee into chest. Exhale, leg out, belly button tight. Inhaling, knee into chest. Exhaling, leg out. Just notice that there's snap, crackle, pops going on with the knee joint, with the hip joint. Just keep moving, keep breathing. If you get mixed up on the breath, that's okay. Just keep breathing, keep moving. This is also to help you to have better balance, because you're getting things a little bit more, mobile. Because sometimes when we are sitting in the chair, being in the house because it's cold, we're not moving around very much. And we forget to move because we're cold, right? My advice to you is, on the top of the hour, get up from wherever you are, walk around in the house, take a walk outside if you can, but just kind of get movement going on. That way you don't feel so stiff and sore. So motion is lotion. All right, and then we're going to bring that knee into the chest. Let's do a little ankle mobility by pointing and flexing the foot. Again, maybe some snap, crackle, pops happening here. Maybe not here, but when we do those ankle circles. In fact, let's do the ankle circles. Do them nice and slow. Kind of feel the stuff that's going on, or maybe you don't feel any stuff going on. Because I'm vintage age, I feel stuff going on. And then reverse, go the other direction. Ooh. Okay, the other direction feels a little challenging. It's a little more different. That doesn't make any sense. It's a little different. Ooh, snap. And then release. All right. This leg that we just did, you know what? Kind of stomp that foot into the floor if you can. Little bone building right there. And release. Other leg, invite the other knee in towards the chest, squeeze the belly button. So you're going to do two things here. You're going to notice, okay, is this leg more into my body versus the other or not? Is there more sensation going on this side versus the other? Does it feel more tight, more loose? So again, we don't really do, we're not trying to be competitive in yoga, but in this class, we're kind of competitive with ourselves. We're noticing one side versus the other. Does this feel good? Does this feel challenging? All those kind of things. It's clues to, you know, what we need to do. All right, so now breathe in, belly big, and contract the belly button. Extend that leg out into the air, whether you're seated on the chair, lying on your back. And just kind of notice, I'm going to bring this one a little bit more towards my chest because it feels more comfortable rather than towards the floor. So this one has a little different stuff going on. Whew. Now, let's move by inhaling, knee into chest. Contract that belly button, extend that leg out. Now, your strap can be along the bottom of the foot, by the way. Inhale, knee into chest. You don't have gear to do the class today. Don't worry, I'm doing a recording. So you can kind of notice the difference between using gear in class, not using gear in class. That's what I like about this. So again, lots of folks want to do this more than once a week. So my advice to y'all is I've got a YouTube channel where I have a lot of our videos on there. So you can kind of pick and choose, figure out which one's your favorite, which one works best with what you've got going on with you. It's Yoga with Gail or Yoga with Gail E, 3 E's. You can kind of find it there. I'll also set that up in the email to where you won't miss stuff. I'm starting to go through my library where I'm taking out old videos. So it's good to get up there and kind of figure out what's your best. It's the ones that are older though, when we started this in 2020. Whew. I don't remember, Vicki. I think you were probably one of my longest attendees. I think it was when we were on the other platform, when you started with me. One more time, knee into chest, and then let's go ahead and point and flex that foot. Notice the sensations that are going on. Does it feel a little stiff here? This is also beneficial because it's a calf pump. And what's beneficial about a calf pump, it's considered to be your second heart. So that's returning blood flow from the lower extremities back into the heart. So it's good stuff. Also, doing calf pump helps to lower blood glucose. So there's a study University of Houston did with regard to that. All right, ankle circles. Oof. Again, notice that there's little crinkling, poppy, snappy things going on. I always get poppy, snappy things going on with my knees because I've torn my meniscuses, one side versus the other. And then I've got that left hip that likes to make a lot of noise. So let the body make a joyful noise. Yeah, hopefully it's not a hurtful one. Reverse, go the other direction. Oof. Pretty stiff there. And then let's see. Let's release and relax this foot down to the ground. Now we stomped the other one, so let's stomp this one. That one's more challenging to stomp. You can take your hands and shake the leg too, but I can't reach my leg, so I'm stomping instead. You're seated in the chair, you can shake your leg instead. And make everything be still. If you tend to get leg cramps, stomping, shaking the legs is a preventative measure to do that. Now, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Let's do notice pose. So extend one leg all the way down. Notice how that feels, and then extend the other one. All right, so it's not as stiff here in the shoulder area, not so stiff in the hips anymore. More of my leg is on the ground. So again, things for you to notice. You're on the back of the heels if you're doing this seated in the chair. You may not notice the same sensations that those of us on the ground are noticing. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Bring the foot back into your behind, or near your behind, not into your behind. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Bring the other one. All right, and grab your strap. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can use a long towel, a dog, a cat leash, a tie, a rope. We're going to do big toe hold. Now, I'm going to show you the traditional version first, because this is like mission impossible to do this for me. You're going to take your peace fingers. Some of y'all may be able to do this. And bring a knee in towards your chest. You're going to slide your peace fingers in between the second and first toe being big toe. Thumb on top of the toe is called toe lock. And make that leg be straight. That's where it's impossible for me. It's like, okay, this is not happening. So that's big toe hold. There's a variation where you stand on one foot and do this big toe hold. We don't do that in this class. We do the therapeutic version. So I'm going to show this top down. So I'm going to turn a little bit. Grab your yoga strap, place it along the bottom of your foot. Extend that foot up into the air. I'm looking to see if you can see this. Yes, okay. And then what we're going to do is take the hands kind of down on the strap. And if you're seated on the chair, leg off the ground a little bit. And other foot firmly into the floor. And I'm going to bend the knee towards me and then pull on that strap and then softly straighten the leg. So I've got push-pull happening here. Ooh, I just felt my back pop. This is called big toe hold with the yoga strap. So this is a bone building exercise. If this is challenging for your grip strength, you can take your hands kind of long on the yoga strap and wrap your wrists, and it's a different type of grip to where you're still pulling and pushing into the strap. So we got to stay here about 30 seconds to get that bone building benefit. Ooh, BBB, bone building benefit. I love it when there's words that start with the same consonant or vowel in a sentence. So that's just me. Yes. And also good for increasing circulation in those feet, in those hands with this type of, it's not a movement, but it's a, well, I guess it is a movement because you're kind of really pulling and pushing, yes? I have to think about that. All right, now we're going to take the other foot, go to tap, tap, tap the other foot, and drop the knee out to the side. So it's half of a windshield wiper. What you're going to do with the leg that's in the sky, cautiously contract the belly button and drop it out to the side. So why we take the knee out to the side? We don't want that opposite behind to roll up off the yoga mat. We want everything to be firm into the floor, firm into the seat of the chair. We're still pulling, still pushing into the strap. Just make sure your toes are not flaring out, that the top of the toes still align with the ankle bone, the shin, the knee. My leg does not go very far towards the floor. It does what it can, and that's okay. Because if it did, then that opposite hip would be rolling, and then I don't feel stable in the posture. I'm not doing the good bone building benefit. There's a little traction feeling going from the behind to the shoulder. If you do this class, with a video, and if you're seated in the chair, you might want to try it on the couch or the bed to see how it feels different. Anyway, that's just, a suggestion, an option. You can always bend the knee, just know that, but still flex the heel, toes towards you. All right, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Bring everything back to the center. Release the strap from your hands. Clap your hands. Rub those hands. Get some circulation going back on. This is good for osteoarthritis, arthritis in the hands, carpal tunnel. Just get some heat going into the palms and then move it into the fingers. My legs are sticking up in the air. You can bring it back down on the floor, seated on the chair. We're going to switch sides. I'm going to just bring the other leg up and kind of put it next to the other foot and switch it out. Okay. Ooh, this one feels spicy. Spicy in that piriformis, that glute. So this one's my stiff side. So again, I'm going to pull, and then I'm going to bend my knee and push it towards the sky. So I feel my back flattening out on the yoga mat. And maybe I'm going to move it more towards the ball of my foot. Woo. Again, if it's spicy, return your attention to the breath. Listen to the breath going in through the nostril tips and then out through the nose. If you need to breathe through the mouth, do it nice and slow so you don't dry out that throat. Again, breathe in. Pull and push. Don't relent. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep pulling. Keep pushing. I'm going to bring my hands down on the strap to have it be an easier hold today. Sometimes when we lie on our back, also we got all this kind of sinus congestion junk kind of accumulating. So sorry, that's kind of gross, but sometimes that happens. It's okay. It's just normal stuff, okay? All right, so other foot. Tap, tap, tap. Get some vibrational energy going on there. And then drop the knee out to the side. There's a half of a windshield wiper right there. And then drop that leg out to the side. Do what you can. Knee bent, leg straight. Oh, this one's going further. And both back sides of my buns, my hips, are firm into the floor. Now, did you let up on your pulling and pushing? Re-engage, pull, push. Woo! Kind of getting into the angle here. This is one of the 12 yoga postures for bone building. We do several of them in our class today, and they're actually yoga postures for easing back challenges. So I love it. Love it, love it. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm looking here if y'all can still see. Yep, yep, yep. Are y'all still breathing? I think you are. I love it. Bring it back to the center. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Bring that other leg back on up. Release the strap. Oh my gosh. And then foot goes down to the floor. Clap those hands. Oh gosh. Get some circulation going back on to those hands because you're being super vigorous today. I can tell. I think I got my camera at a weird angle. Oh, maybe not. Okay. From here, we're going to do piriformis bounce. I'm going to make sure my block is close by, so I'm going to grab my block and we'll go back to the original side, whichever one that was. Bring the leg up into the air. Just kind of shake that leg a little bit here, just a little shaking. Changing it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take that leg, whether you're seated on the chair or lying on your back, place it on top of the thigh. Now, if this is not available to you, you can also take the foot and slide it on top of the ankle with the knee way out. Okay, so that's an option. So from here, I'm going to take my hand and push the leg away. If you're seated in the chair, it's best to thread that strap underneath the back of the knee and pull it towards you and let it drop, because gravity works a little different when you're doing piriformis bounce here. Or you can do this with the strap lying on your back. I also sometimes take my yoga block and push it away. Notice if you're feeling a little kind of achy residual feeling going on with that hip bone, do a little less vigor. It still works even if you do less. Just know that, all right? Sometimes less is the answer. And then just kind of release from that. All right, so from here, several variations for our pigeon. What we're going to do if you're seated, if you're laying on your back, you're going to take your toes and point them towards your knee. So you activate that calf, activate the ligaments around the knee, and then think about the bottom foot. Tap, tap, tap that bottom foot, and then press the bottom foot firmly into the floor. With the top leg, squeeze the top bum, squeeze, and then think about pushing the top leg away, either with your own muscular strength or take that yoga block or your hand, press the top leg away. Don't forget to press the bottom foot firmly into the yoga mat. This is good for the sciatica, the shooty pain down the leg. You get that kind of nervy impingement of that nerve somewhere in your spine, in the pelvic notch. Sometimes there can be pain in the feet, in the lower leg, the upper leg, up a little bit in the spine. It kind of travels. It can be one side versus the other also. So I don't feel that pain with my back issues because I, do this on a pretty regular basis. That's probably why. Are you still pushing into the floor? I'm thinking you are. And release. Release everything. Beautiful. Bounce the leg a little bit. All right. So, and then take that leg up and off. I'm going to come back up to the front of the room because I think the screen has frozen. Let's see what I can do about that. And if you're ready, you can take the other leg up into the air.
Screen is good for me.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking at my other screen then, because I have two screens going on here. All right. Thank you for that information. All right. Take the other leg up into the air, and we'll do the other side, shall we? We shall. Thank you for letting me know. We're going to take the other leg on top of the other thigh or cross at the ankle, and then start pushing or pulling the leg towards you for that bouncy movement. It's called the piriformis bounce. It's kind of like part one of pigeon pose. I'm kind of being a little fast here with mine. Okay, now we're going to make this a little bit more active. But first, take the top leg, point the toes towards your knee, whether it's crossed at the ankle or on top of the thigh. And then take the bottom foot, tap, tap, tap. And then press that bottom foot firmly into the floor to where you feel that kind of activation of the bottom leg. Top leg, squeeze top bun, and then think about pushing the top leg away. Now you can do that with your own muscular strength. Don't forget pushing into the bottom foot, or use your hand to push it away. or use your yoga block to push it away. We stay here for a few moments. So this is taking care of side 2. Breathing in, breathing out. Woo! Are you still pushing into the bottom foot? Are you still pushing the top leg away? Top foot, toes toward your knee. All these questions. Because sometimes we kind of let things soften. This is, again, we're bone building by activating the large muscle groups, staying in the posture, stimulating the bone with contracted muscles. And relax and release. Whew. Bounce that top leg a little bit. Excellent. Take that leg up into the air. Go ahead and shake it a little bit. And then release it back down to the floor. Let's do notice pose. We're on our backs. We're seated in a chair, extending one leg, then the other. And just notice if it feels a little bit more connected into the floor. Very good. We're going to do bird dog, lying on our back to begin with, and we'll do all the different variations, or seated in the chair. So I'm going to move my chair out of the way a little bit so you can see this in the camera. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I'm not hitting anything back behind me because I got a lot of decorations in the room. Okay. Move those out of the way. Beautiful. So, let me think here. We're going to start first with bent knees. And I'm going to bring one arm overhead. See if I hit anything. It doesn't touch the ground at all. I'm going to do the other one. Okay, well, there was some kind of limitation in my rotation of the arm in the shoulder socket, but that's okay. So from here, let's take the left foot off the ground, knee in towards the chest. We're kind of doing this at a right angle here. And then your opposite arm, your right arm up overhead. Whatever your overhead is. Now, if you need to bend the elbow, that's okay. Try to go towards straight if you can. And it may be more in front of your nose than it is around your ear or back behind you. And then release the foot and arm back down to your side or down on the floor. Now, squeeze the belly button. Lift the other knee in towards your chest. Again, it's kind of a right angle. Flex the foot if you can. And take that left arm up overhead. So you may feel definitely some abdominals and hips getting activated here. It's a variation of our bird dog. And then release that down to the floor. Now, for those of you laying on your back, here's the challenge. Can you do that with your legs straight? We're going to see. So extend your legs. Might be a challenge here. The legs won't be straight when we bring them up in the air. They'll be knee bent. So think about, okay, left leg, right arm. Inhale first, belly soft. As you exhale, contract your belly button, lift that opposite knee and arm overhead. Now, it's more in towards my chest. If you're seated on the chair, you know what to do. And then bring that arm and leg softly, softly back on down. You may need to do the foot on the yoga mat instead. Just know that's okay, all right? Let's do the other side. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Breathe in. Exhale, contract that belly button. Lift that right leg, left arm up overhead, whatever you can manage here. Notice if it feels different this side versus the other opposite reach side, and then lower it back down. We'll do one more each side in this position. So here we go. Opposite arm and leg. Flex that heel. Do what you can with what you got today, okay? And then lower back on down. Woo, snap, pop, crinkle. Other opposite arm and leg. That's also brain building because it's working both hemispheres of the brain, and lower. All right, and then feet onto the yoga mat. Very good. We're going to come over, transition onto our hands and knees, or stay seated on the chair, or lie on your back. We're going to do bird dog once again. So this is kind of a quick transition. We normally don't do quick transitions, but today it's a different ball game, yeah? I'm going to get my yoga blanket because my knees are kind of spicy today. You can also fold your yoga blanket to have a little thickness wherever your knees are. So from here, we're going to take the right arm, kind of walk it a little bit more forward on our yoga mat, and then that left foot, I'm on my toes, I'm going to push the heel to opposite end of the room. So from here, breathe in, belly soft, let it hang out. And when you exhale, contract your belly button, lift your heel, lift your hand. So that activates the multifidi, the deepest held layer of your back muscles. And release. Whew. Let the belly be soft, bring it back into the center. We're going to try the other side. So extend the left arm, right toes, push the heels to the edge of the room, get that calf contraction. Belly soft, breathe in. And then exhale, contract that belly button, lift that opposite arm and leg. Oof. Inhale, bring it down, belly soft. Exhale, back to the center. Beautiful. All right, so from here, let's take a foot up in between our hands. So I'm going to take it out to the side, and then I use my hand to help me make this happen. You know what? I'm going to grab my yoga block because this is kind of spicy for me without the chair. I'm going to shift forward, curl that back toe, lift that back knee. I'm going to take that back foot, hop, walk it, drag it next to the other foot. Knees are bent, hands on my hips, hinge up. Woof. Bring the hands to heart center just for a moment here. Feet a little wide. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, you can stay seated on the chair because we're going to do spinal balance again, or you may do this standing. Now, some folks will take, I mentioned about a chair. I think I said optional chair in the email. This isn't easily shown. You can also do this with your hands on the wall, but I'm going to have my I don't know, I'm about 2 feet away from the chair here. And from here, I'm going to think about the leg that's closest to you, step it back. I'm on the balls of my feet. And then I'm going to raise the opposite arm up. And if I can, I'm going to lift that back leg up. Maybe touch my fingers on the chair. This is very challenging for me because I got the wiggle of the foot. And then release. Whew. You can also stand sideways and do the same thing we were doing seated or standing. So knee bent, arm up, opposite arm and leg up. Now you don't get as much multi-fitus activation with this particular one, and release. So let's go back to where we're standing at the back of the chair or the back of the wall. So if it's the back of the wall, you can do fingertips on the wall and step that foot back. Then raise the foot up, raise the arm away from the wall. Maybe the fingers are on the wall for the other one to make sure you don't wiggle and fall. So again, this gets a little bit more of the low back activation, and release. And if you want to come back to the, since I'm got to do the other side, right? We got other arm and leg. So it's going to be the leg closest to the chair, opposite arm. You might have more success bringing that arm a little bit more towards your ear with this particular position because it's working in the vertical plane as opposed to the horizontal plane, and release. So with that leg being up off the ground, again, this is working the hip musculature, which is very integral to more back pain. Very good. Next is our warrior postures. Again, I'm going to use the chair for my standing version of this. Move that blanket out of the way. But if you like the seated versions, they're wonderful. I love it. It's called letter L legs. If you're standing, go ahead and step the feet wide, turn toes towards the short end of the yoga mat. I kind of scoot over on the side of the chair here and feet firm into the floor. Make sure your knees are not dropping towards one another. They're kind of way out to the sides of the room. So you get activation of those hips. Now we naturally turn to the center when you're seated. So try to turn the torso out and over the leg that's in front here. I don't know if you can see that with my black pants. Oh, well, sorry. And then arms out into that letter T. Now let's not forget, whether you're standing, whether you're seated, you need to have vigorous feet into the floor. So push into the floor and then arms out into a letter T, squeeze those shoulders. Arms can be low, arms can be parallel to the floor. Make sure you're pressing firmly into the surface beneath you. Bend that knee if you're standing when you're doing your warrior two. Very good. And release everything. We're going to do side angle pose. Now, if you're seated, grab your yoga block to make this a little bit more accessible. I'm going to do the short height. If you're standing, you still have the letter, you have the warrior two feet going on. We're going back into arms to the letter T. You may have to hang on to the block if you're seated. And then we're going to take the arm that's over the bent knee side, place that hand on the thigh, other arm goes up towards your ear, and you kind of lift up and over for your side angle posture. So you got one side that's kind of crunchy and one side that's very elongated, lengthening. Press the feet firmly into the ground, whether you're standing, whether you're seated. Bring it back on up and release. And we're going to switch that into reverse warrior. So the arm that's over the bent knee leg, you're going to do a palm up, hand on the hip if you like, and reach forward, press feet firmly into the floor, hand on the chair, hand on the hip, reach up and over for that side ankle posture. Very good. Press firmly into the floor and release. Let's come out of the pose. We're going to switch sides. So you're going to take the other leg out to the side, turn that torso towards the front leg. You're standing, again, feet wide, lift the heel, point the toes towards that short end, bend the knee, feet firm into the floor. So we're going to go back into the warrior two arms out to that letter T. They can be a little bit low. They can be letter T. You can also hang onto the chair. Just peek and see, is your foot and knee aligned here? Feet firm into the ground. So that's part of your bone building process, is to have very active, strong feet, whether you're seated in the chair, whether you're standing with or without a chair on the yoga mat, on that hard surface. It's not slipping. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Very good. Now, if you want to take a break, you can straighten that leg and go right back into it. We're going to do side angle pose. Again, take that block, place it on the thigh. You can place your forearm on the thigh, or if you're here standing, hand on the thigh, other arm goes up towards the ear. Think about reaching up and then bringing the body over for that side angle pose. So the theory is it's a straight line, from your hand to your ankle, maybe. You can also do forearm. You can also do hand on the inside of the ankle. We don't do that in this class though, because it's a little bit too much of not going to be proper in the pose if you don't have a lot of flexibility. We're going to switch this into reverse warrior. So we're coming back on up, hand that's over that bent knee. If you want to take a break, straighten that leg, go back into it, feet firm into the ground though, okay? Hand on the hip, reach forward. I'm going to hang onto the chair on this one, up and over. Again, hand on the hip, down the leg for your reverse warrior. The leg should be talking. Float the arm down, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in. Very good. Just kind of shake it out a little bit. From here, we're going to try to do, I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to try to do standing cat-cow or seated cat-cow. So I'm going to show this sideways. So this is tall mountain posture. And to do, well, you know what, I'm not sure if I've ever done a standing cat-cow. We're going to try. So basically, we're going to place the fist along the back, the top of the hips, and then push your belly forward. Your chest lifts up. So that's your cow portion of the posture. You can also do this seated on the chair this way if you want to. You have to kind of scooch towards the edge of the chair to make that happen though. So you can get those hands back there. If they get back there, they may be low on the behind. And that's okay too, you know? And then you're going back to tall posture, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. And for cow, you got to curve, or cat, you got to curve like a cat. So, you know, you're grabbing your knees, the thighs, you're curving your spine. For us, we're going to bend the knees and curve the spine. And I kind of hunch my shoulder, relax the shoulders, ears over the shoulders. Try not to drop your chin towards your chest. So we're going to have a little roundiness going on here with the thoracic spine, if that's available for you today. And then, let's inhale. Bring your hands back on your hips. Press your chest towards where the wall meets the ceiling. And then exhale, curve back into that cat. Try it again, not to drop the chin. Relax those shoulders. Inhale, kind of open up. That's good for lessening COPD, lessening that bronchitis effect, getting into the lungs here. Exhale, curve that spine, belly button tight, curve, curve, curve for cat. And then inhale, open up. Well, I like that inhale. It really kind of opens up the breathing there. One more time. Let's go into the cat. Cat. I can't talk. Got a hairball. And one more time for cow. Here we go. Beautiful. And then just kind of shake it out. Excellent. Yeah, I knew we could do it standing. I just couldn't remember what it was. All right, let's try tree pose. Yeah. Okay, so if you're seated, that's always an interesting thing because it's a little bit different. It's still bone building. You got to be vigorous with the feet. So I take my yoga block way out and turn my foot out to the side. So again, it's about getting into that turn leg out to the side, pressing firmly into the balanced foot and shoulders over the hips. I can do my arms a little bit easier when I'm seated, but still a lot of core activation. And then if you're standing, step the foot out to the side, lift the heel, turn the foot, and then bring the foot into the ankle. That foot that you're balancing on, make sure it's pointing towards 12 o'clock and you're not jutting your hip like I do. Maybe it's into the calf, maybe it's into the inner thigh, maybe it's connected to the floor. Arms can go up, but if you're pressing into the leg, make sure it's a nice firm push, yeah? And your foot's firm into the floor. Excellent. You can have hands to heart center, out to the side. I'm hanging onto the chair today. You can also have a little bend in the knee to challenge that a bit. Challenge the stability, instability. And release. Move a little bit. We're going to do the other side. So switch the block over to the other side. If you're doing the chair, take the knee out. Step the foot, lift the heel, turn the foot. So you got one knee one direction, one knee the other. Lift it, bring it in. Again, the objective is to have the leg way out to the side. This is another one of the bone building postures. Warrior two, side angle pose. A reverse warrior was also bone building postures. That's why we kind of hung out there a little bit. Breathing in and out. So we're going to do block bridge. So if you're seated in a chair, you have your yoga block and go over to the couch to do this one. So you can kind of get that same effect as those of us that are going to be down here on the floor. So this is a nice alternative way to feel the posture, yeah? You get that benefit of releasing the tension held in the spine. And release. Going to move a little bit side to side. Very good. All right, so let's come back down to the floor or onto the couch and grab your yoga block. But you know what? We got to do notice pose first, right? So extend your legs. Just notice how this feels in your body, what we've done so far. Notice, notice how melty you might feel. I'm just like more connected to it. I could take a nap. I don't normally take a nap on the floor, but I could probably do that today. All right, so this is where you would go over to the couch if you're seated in the chair. If you want to try this and see what we're feeling with those of us that are on the ground. Or you're going to bend one knee, then the other, and then slide the block underneath your behind. Place your behind on the block. Now, I always feel crunchy here, so I got to lift up and move my shoulders away. Okay. Your couch may be, kind of cushiony, but you're still going to feel some of this effect. So let's take one leg up into the air and shake that leg. Wiggle it side to side, trying to encourage lymphatic drainage. Now, if you can, bring the knee a little bit in towards your chest and slap at the back of the knee for lymphatic drainage. Got a lot of lymphs here, the back of the knee. Go back to shaking. Side to side, up and down. And then release that one down to the floor. Let's do the other side. So bring that leg up and start the shake. And side to side. Shake, shake, shake. Bend the knee a little bit more towards your chest. Slap back behind the knee. Very good. Go back to shaking. Side to side. All right. Now, if you can, bring the other leg up. Can't do this if you're seated in the chair, but you're going to shake side to side. Well, I guess you could, but I'm not sure how that would work. But you're just kind of stomping your feet into the floor, side to side if you can. Now, if you have knee pain, what you can do is bring the knees a little bit more in toward your chest. Take the palm of your hand, little acupressure there. You're going to just slap the outside of the knee. Be kind, be gentle. Feet on the floor if you're seated on the chair. Very good. Release one leg down to the floor. Take your time. Squeeze the belly button. Then the other one. Now you're going to take that block up and off and roll your spine down. Notice how that feels. Ooh, that's good stuff. Let's do windshield wipers. If you're seated in the chair, you're going to come up on the balls of the feet and then drop a knee out to the side and then drop the other knee towards that knee. So you may be feeling this sensation in that top hip. If it's particularly strong, you can take your thumb or the heel of your hand and press into that top hip as a countermeasure, as a counter, trigger point, self-massage. Sometimes that helps with the kind of extra stuff that's going on here. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Bring the top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Let's do the other side. So I kind of move my body a little bit in between. Drop the other knee out to the side. Drop the top leg towards the bottom leg. Again, if it's feeling particularly like, ooh, there's a little stuff going on there, take the heel of the hand, press into that stuff. And again, sometimes that allows you to kind of stay in the posture. It's a low lumbar twist. So this is our twist of the day. Normally we do an unsupported twist, but this is a good one too. Beautiful. All right, squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. So what you can do here at this point is, there's several variations. Let me get my chair close by. Some of us like to take the chair or the seat of the couch and, get right next to that couch, come down to our upper back and kind of cartwheel our legs up onto the seat of the chair. Now my behind's pretty close here, so I kind of get on my forearms here and scoop my booty away because that helps with additional releasing of the spine. Now you can keep the legs straight or cross at the ankles, whichever is best for you, and then come down to your back, hands out to the side. Now, since it's pretty, cold in January, you might want to cover up just for a little added heat because that'll allow you to further relax and release. So some of us, though, like the full version of legs on the chair, legs on the wall. It's the same type of philosophy. You get your behind close to the wall, and then you come down to your forearms, to your, kind of your mid-back. You cartwheel your booty up onto the wall. Legs can be straight or knees bent, arms out to the side. This helps with edema, swelling in the lower extremities, helps with the varicose veins. So you need a little boost before you go to bed. This also helps folks kind of help them sleep better. Legs up the wall, legs on the chair, legs on the couch, whichever one it is. Again, the bonus is releasing tension held in the spine. Sometimes what I do is I take that yoga strap, if it has a buckle, I'll put it around here to where I don't feel like my legs are going to go into a split. They're not going to go into a split, but some folks don't feel very comfortable because they're thinking, oh, I can't really relax because they're going to go apart. Use the strap to help, have a little bit more security with that. So I'm going to come up off the wall and we're going to do our guided relaxation and rest portion of our class. That is, if I can figure out how to come up off the floor. All right. So I invite you to get comfortable. Whether that's legs on the chair, legs on the wall, legs extended, or maybe Knees together, feet apart, or seated in the chair on the couch. It's whatever's going to make you feel the most comfortable at this point. You may feel a little stuck one side versus the other, so you may kind of have to like lift a shoulder, roll a shoulder, and then just extend an arm. Do the same with the other side. Maybe one hip feels a little more stuck on the ground. You may want to kind of wiggle a little bit, move legs a little bit. Again, make it more comfortable for you. Good. Just notice that you're breathing. Again, don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like here to breathe in? And what does it feel like here to breathe out? Again, notice the belly, the chest rising on the inhale, and then sinking, releasing on the exhale. You may notice your breath being a bit shallow. That's okay. You don't have to have a big old belly breath here. Just make sure that you're breathing. Beautiful. Let's go on a little sensory journey. Let's imagine we're next to a stream of water. The temperature is just right, not too hot, not too cold. We're laying on the green grass. We're noticing the clear crispness of the water. We can see those little rocks at the bottom of the stream. We can see the fish, the bugs skimming the water. Very crisp and clear. You kind of hear that little water sound as the water goes downstream. Very relaxing, lets you kind of soften and release into the surface that's supporting you today. And then in our imagination, let's take our eyes skyward, kind of laying on our back, looking up, And there's trees on either side of the stream. And we kind of hear the rustling of the leaves as the wind gently blows through the tree branches. And that kind of shushy kind of noise. And then we kind of hear birds flitting from one branch to the other with their little bird song. Maybe we hear a squirrel or two chittering. Yeah. And again, the sound of the wind, the soft breeze coming across our body, the leaves making a little bit of noise as the wind flows through the tree branches, and those birds just doing what they do naturally. Now, we have noticed a couple of leaves come off the tree branches, and they're floating down towards the stream. As they land, maybe we're thinking about what we need to do next or some of the things that are worrying us. Just put all your worries, your thoughts on that leaf and just observe it going downstream. Again, if you have thoughts that keep popping into your brain, place them on a leaf, observe them floating away, listen to the water sounds, listen to the tree, the leaves with the wind flowing through them, listen to the birds. Very good. And I invite you to come back into the now. So what I would like for you to do is kind of wiggle those fingers, move those ankles, get a little movement back into your body. If your knees are or your legs are on that chair, take them off. If your knees are bent, maybe you want to roll over onto your side body. Take your time. Very good. From here, if you're lying on the floor, roll over onto your favorite side. Take your time now. And the hand that naturally is in front, Push into your hand, extend that top leg, push yourself up to your forearm. If you're feeling a little dizzy, stay here. If it's okay, come up to a seated place. And just drop your chin towards your chest. That's to help you get equilibrium stabilized there. And then when you're ready, bring your chin to look forward. So let's just do a little bit of stuff for range of motion in our shoulders, in our neck, in our head, okay? So we're going to take our hands together. It's called swimming dragon. We're going to push hands opposite direction and then take your chin, look over the opposite shoulder. Just notice what you notice here. Yeah? Breathe in, bring it back to the center. And then exhale, push the other direction. Very good. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale, other direction. And then last time, inhaling back to the center. Release the hands. So from here, take your nose and we're going to draw a circle with our nose. Your eyes can follow with the circle or your eyes can look forward. So you may notice some little crinkly stuff happening at the atlas point. That's where the top of the neck inserts into the base of the skull. Just notice what you notice. Again, if this makes you feel dizzy, have your eyes look forward as you do your slow nose circles, your atlas point circles. And then let's reverse. Go the other direction. Notice that there's more noise going on here. Again, it's the circular motion along the atlas point, very top of the spine, base of the skull. You may hear it one side more than the other, and then bring it back to the center. Very good. The next is called the smile posture. So we're basically going to take our chin, look over one side of our body, and then kind of take your chin up a little bit. So we're going to draw a smile face with our chin. So drop your chin towards your chest, and then very slowly take your chin up towards the other side. Now you may want to take arms out to the side to do this. Bring it back to your chest, over to the other side. Notice the noise that might happen here. Again, keep it away from ouch. Bring it back towards your chest, over to the other side. This is, again, called the smile movement. And then back one more time, over to the other side. And then bring your head back to the center. Next, we're going to bring a little bit more blood flow into our brain with spread the feathers. So we take our hands, make them like little starfish, bring it out to the side, and then take your thumb, kind of turn it towards the back of the room. So your activation of the shoulder, the bicep, the tricep. We're going to take the opposite ear, drop it towards our shoulder. If your hand is on your thigh, maybe you take the arm out to the side, and then lift your chin. Breathe in. Exhale, release. Bring everything back to the center. Let's do the other side. So spread the feathers, spread the hands out like a little starfish. Take that thumb, turn it to the back of the room. Drop your opposite ear towards your shoulder, maybe the arm out to the side, and lift the chin. Very good, very good. And bring it back to the center. Let's do one more each side. So take that thumb, rotate it, ear towards the shoulder, lift the chin, hand out to the side. Always forget that one. And bring it back to the center. Take your time. Other hand, thumb towards the sky. Feel that upper arm getting activated. Ear towards the shoulder. Chin towards the ceiling. Woo. And release. Very good. From here, clap the hands. Bring some heat into the palms. Let's just do one more kind of an energy work. It's one's for your acupressure point for releasing tension in the head, tension headaches. So it's to go here at the web of the hand. So you're just basically tapping with the interwebbing between the index finger and the thumb. Now it's not hard. It's just, a nice little movement here. Now notice which thumb is on top. Switch it. Ooh, it's a little brain work right there. This is out of the seated chair Tai Chi that I teach. There's a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in more in this, it's about a 45-minute to 1-hour class. It's one I did for Veterans Yoga Project during Veterans Gratitude Week. So check out those videos, okay? Very good. From here, rub those hands once again, get some heat going on. And you can either place hands stacked upon the heart or hands together, whichever is best for you. And let's again think about what we were grateful for at the very beginning of class. If you didn't have that, if you came in a little bit late, then think about something that you're grateful for today or an idea of gratitude. And let's bring whatever that gratefulness is, let's kind of envelop it into our heart today. Very good. And now I'll do the ending sayings for our class. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for low back care. I'll now stop the recording